What is up, everybody? Ruben here with Gorilla Sports. Welcome to a post-game off-court episode. The Nuggets just got an overtime win versus the Brooklyn Nets. Your final score, 144-139. And my goodness, what a masterful performance by Nikola Jokic. Triple-double. But we're going to get all into it. Man, what a great game. What a gritty performance, too, by this Nuggets team, who I'm sure were tired. They just played last night. They played an overtime game versus Toronto, and here are the Nuggets once again getting another overtime win versus the Brooklyn Nets, who played the Nuggets very well. I mean, they were hot shooting by the Nets. I believe they had like 5 players in double figures. I mean, there was lots to talk about from this game. So we're going to get all into it, but like I said before, my name is Ruben Villalobos. I'm your host for tonight. Welcome to Off Court. We decided to give Liv Moots a little bit of a break. She's been doing quite a lot. She's been covering Broncos. She's been doing Nuggets. So you know what? She deserves it. She's been doing an awesome job for Gorilla Sports. So I'm your host for tonight, and welcome to Off Court. And I can't wait to talk about this game because, my goodness, it was such a fun game. But let's get into it because, first quarter, right? It's kind of close there for like the first 7 minutes, and you're just like, okay, this looks good. This looks all right. Both teams a little shaky, right? And Porter, gets immediately. He starts off with an and one, and I'm like, all right, great. He's being aggressive. This is good. And Jamal with an early 3 in the first quarter, and so things are kind of looking good up until that like middle of the first quarter when all of a sudden the Nets just starting hitting a bunch of threes. They made 7 threes in that first quarter, and the Nets just absolutely were battling the Nuggets on the offensive glass, and they were just kind of disrupting a lot of things. They were getting they necessarily didn't convert a lot of like offensive rebounds, but the Nets were just kind of in the paint, and they were just. It seemed like a lot of like hot potato type thing where players were just kind of like trying to grab the ball and they just couldn't, and it was just kind of chaotic at times for the Nuggets. They didn't really, after that 7-minute mark, it just kind of didn't really look right. And in the first quarter, Nuggets go down early, 40-27, and you're just kind of thinking like, man, this is going to be an ugly game. And it was to me, I thought it was going to be kind of expected, and it was going to be just an ugly game. But you know what? I did not give up on my Nuggets. I did not give up on the Nuggets. I was like, there's no way this team can fall down so bad and just not recover. It just wasn't in the cards tonight, and the Nuggets did rally back in that second quarter. There was bad perimeter defense, kind of pretty much all around for the Nuggets for that first half. The Nuggets just could not. They were just leaving the Nets players open. It just seemed like the rotations were just not crisp. There was multiple times where Nikola Jokic was running out to the 3-point line, trying to like get a hand up, and it just didn't look right defensively. They were trying to figure some stuff out, and it just didn't look right for that first half. But at least the Nuggets were scoring a little bit better in that second quarter. Down 16 early in the second, and 17 points was actually the largest deficit that the Nuggets had. The Nets were cruising. I mean, they looked great. They were hitting their threes. The ball movement for the Nets was very crisp, and they were catching the Nuggets off guard. And it was very hard to kind of see a positive outcome. But like I said before, the Nuggets, they kind of tightened it up a little bit defensively in that second quarter. And the Nuggets just started cooking a little bit. Payne Watson had a nice move here and there. Westbrook started playing faster, and all of a sudden the Nuggets were playing faster. It seemed like they were getting a little bit momentum. And Westbrook, I love the energy for Westbrook tonight. Absolutely great performance by him too, and we're gonna get all into people's stats and stuff like that. So I just want to give a quick overview of what happened in the game because it just so much happened, and I was just very happy to see the Nuggets trying to, they got punched in the mouth very early, and then they seemed to kind of recover as the game went along, and it was very good to see, and it was almost like it was like a reminder of like, the Nuggets can still be that type of team that is just not going to give up, and they're going to continue battling you, and they're going to find ways to kind of nitpick here and there and just make it close. And that's what the Nuggets did. They kept it close in that second quarter, And so in the middle of that second quarter, Jokic comes in around the 7-minute mark. He had been sitting for a while, and he immediately goes to work. He gets a nice entry pass by Russell Westbrook. He just starts doing Nikola Jokic things. Another player I want to point out, Christian Braun was fantastic all throughout the game. Great defensive effort. He was getting blocks. There was moments where he would recover from just bad defensive position. He had a couple great blocks, but he was also very active. Like even if he was out of position, he hustled back to get to the right position. So that was great to see from Christian Braun, and super happy to see Christian Braun actually, being the player that we all thought he was going to be. I have no complaints about Christian Braun. He even hit some great threes late in the fourth and in overtime. But Cameron Johnson goes 3 of 3 from the three-point line. He was hot. Dennis Schroeder, 3 of 6 from three-point line. So the first half for the Nets, I mean, they were just fantastic from the three. They just kept getting these wide open looks, and the Nuggets defense just was not rotating correctly. And it was just solid movement by the Nets, and you got to give the Nets credit. They were really making the Nuggets kind of do like double and third and fourth rotations. Great ball movement by them. But Porter hits a three late in the second, and it almost felt like one of those, like, finally, he finally hits one, and he almost like got himself going after that, because he hits like, I believe he hit like two after. He had a moment where he got like two threes in a row, and then it would have been 3 threes in a row, but one of them, I guess he was like just within the arc. So it was great to see Porter finally get himself going and just get that shooting stroke that we all have come to appreciate, and we all got really accustomed to seeing. So that was really awesome to see. But at the half, the Nets 12 made threes, and the score was 72-63, and you were like, whoa, the Nuggets gave up 72 points, but the Nuggets are just right there within 9 points. So what a recovery by the Nuggets to be down by so much, and they just chipped away in that second quarter. So yes, they gave up quite a lot of points in that half, but what a way to recover and at least give yourself a chance in that second half, and just not give up just because it's a back-to-back. That's not who this team is, and the Nuggets just made a game of it in that third quarter. Soon as the third quarter starts, 5-0 run by the Nuggets, an immediate timeout by the Nets. But third quarter was still a little bit choppy. It was still a little choppy. Both teams were not really as crisp as the Nets were in that first half. They weren't quite the same, and they started missing a few shots here and there. And credit to the Nuggets, they also tightened up defensively in that third quarter. And from then on, it was just really close. The Nuggets were just, within 3, within 1, within 5. So it was back and forth in that third quarter. But my goodness, they kept leaving Jalen Wilson open for threes, and it was mostly like the story of the night for the Nuggets. Just bad perimeter defense, but those are the things that you clean up as the season goes on. So I'm not super hard on the Nuggets for not being able to rotate over, because again, the Nets they were passing the ball very well. They were very well connected tonight, and they made the Nuggets work. So anyways, back and forth in the third quarter, and Nets hit some big threes here and there, and Porter responds with some of his own, and that was also very good to see him get involved and stuff like that. So, but the one thing I'll say is, like, the Nuggets were kind of, they were getting out and running, right? And they started to pick up the pace a little bit, but they just weren't converting on transition buckets, which is fine. At least they seemed to still have energy to be able to run up and down in that third quarter. I'm glad they didn't overexert themselves that to the point where the fourth quarter they just looked incredibly tired, because even in overtime they looked a little bit tired, but at least they had enough energy to be able to convert. But no, Russell Westbrook, all game, he was just fantastic. And he hits a three at the end of the third quarter to just cut the lead by 3. And so here come the Nuggets, right? Down big early in the first half. Now it's a fourth quarter game, only down 3. But in the fourth quarter, immediately, as soon as the fourth quarter starts, Payne Watson hits a huge 3 to tie it. And then all of a sudden, Russell Westbrook goes on scores 7 quick points, gets a layup, 2 free throws, and hits a big 3. He was fantastic tonight again, my goodness. Nuggets get a small lead. They finally take the lead. It's a small lead. I think it was like 3 or 4 points, but here come the Nets right back at you. And from then on, it was just like kind of back and forth, back and forth. But Nuggets, they're scoring late, but they just can't stop the Nets. Easy buckets, easy threes. And late, it was just kind of like, defensive lapses. And not necessarily defensive lapses, but it just seemed like the Nuggets just couldn't contain the initial drives of the Nets. Murray had a lot of, there was like 2 plays in a row where Nick Claxton got like 2 easy dunks. Alley-oops basically is what it was. They were just 2 alley-oops. And what happened was like Murray he will allow Dennis Schroeder to kind of go by him. And Murray was just kind of out of position, and he wasn't really guarding Dennis Schroeder or anybody else, and so Jokic was just kind of stuck in the middle, guarding 2 players, and so here comes Nick Claxton, gets 2 easy dunks, and so there were just a lot of that in the game where it was just easy drive-bys, and you had players instead of being staying in front, you had players on the side, and it was just. Again, it was probably tired legs because again, this team played last night. But you got to be a little bit better. And Malone talks about this all the time of not allowing that first, not allowing easy drive-bys and just putting your rotational player in a tough position because now you have to leave the man you're covering, when you're close to the basket, and now all of a sudden either you get an alley-oop or you get a nice easy pass out for 3, or you get an alley-oop or just a quick easy bucket. So got to protect that perimeter and not allow so many drive-bys. And so a lot of that in the fourth quarter, but the Nuggets were still scoring and they were still, getting in their offensive sets. It looked good for a second, but it did look a little choppy there with like 3 minutes left because the Nuggets, they gave up the lead, and I believe the Nuggets were down by like 4 or something like that. But Gordon hits a huge 3. I think that put up the Nuggets 1, I believe. I couldn't quite remember. And then right after that 3, it was a 24 shot clock violation by the Nets. So great defense there by the Nuggets. And it was a 1-point game with like a minute to go. And so Murray, decides to kind of do a little ISO here and there. And it was initially a good shot. I mean, he got enough room to operate, right? He takes a shot. It was just short. And but I would have rather had the Nuggets kind of done a little bit more of an offensive set as opposed to just going, a bit solo there. I mean, I trust Murray to make those shots, but on a back-to-back when you're kind of tired, I would have much rather have seen like a little bit more an offensive set to just kind of get everyone involved and get a better shot as opposed to just be like, hey Murray, here you do your thing and do whatever. But still, I don't mind that. It's just like when you got tired legs, you can tell the shot was short. But either way, the Nets, right after that, the Nets go up 124-121 with 33.8 seconds left. It was a great shot by Cam Thomas. I mean, the great effort by him as well. And Christian Braun absolutely just guarded that as best you can. I mean, that was a tough shot. And so you're like, oh my God, here, this is going to be a tough one. But Nikola Jokic, I believe Darian Finney-Smith, he gets fouled. He misses one of 2 free throws, and here comes Jokic. Late in the fourth, he ties it with like 8 seconds left. And again, the Nets, for whatever reason, they decide to feed Dorian Finney-Smith on a wide open 3, and again, Jokic is out there trying to contest this 3 a lot of that tonight, but luckily he misses and we get to overtime. And my goodness, this is the thing about the Nuggets. Like when it's crunch time, the Nuggets are going to execute. And I mean, whether win or lose, like they'll try everything possible to get the best shot possible, and that's exactly what happened in overtime. Obviously, the Nets, they strike first in overtime. You go up by 2, but No, I mean it was a lot of the Nuggets, you know, just doing everything possible in overtime. Jokic was fantastic. CB hits a huge three, puts up the Nuggets by 6. And funny enough, there was like an actual ball wedgie in overtime. Murray, I think he goes out. He was going strong to the basket. He gets the ball wedged in between the basket and the backboard. But no, I mean the Nuggets just absolutely executed when they needed to, and they got the win because of it. And it just goes to show this team, as bad as they looked the first 2 games, and you're like, oh my God, the sky is falling and stuff like that. I was not panicking because I know who this team is. And even though some people consider this team to be lesser than the Nuggets, no, this is the NBA. This team the Nets is very talented. They have very talented teams or very talented players, and they showed that tonight. And the Nuggets had a lot of trouble. And they seem to have a lot of trouble with very young, speedy type teams, and that's what the Nuggets, that's what the Nets are. They're just a very young team. They have great talent on the offensive end. But no, the Nuggets secure a win in overtime. They ice it. 144-139 is your final. Here are some notable stats. Again, Nikola Jokic with a masterful triple-double: 29 points, 18 rebounds, 16 assists, 6 offensive rebounds. He was everywhere. My goodness, Nikola Jokic is absolutely fantastic tonight. Murray pitched in 24 points. He did look, I believe he was like 8 of 16 or something like that. I can't quite remember. Let me look it up real quick, see if I can get a quick little stat line on here. He was actually 8 of 19, so he did kind of struggle a little bit. He took quite a bit of shots, He was 2 of 7 from 3, but you know what? I'll take the 24 points. He made most of his free throws. I think he missed one there late. Aaron Gordon, 24 points. That was awesome for him. Aaron Gordon is just Aaron Gordon. He was just muscling everybody. Anytime he had someone smaller than him, he just went at him. Bully ball, didn't matter. He was just bigger, stronger, and he made you pay. And he was 8 of 11, so he was great tonight. He was absolutely fantastic. Russell Westbrook was also the story for the bench tonight. It was great to see finally Russell Westbrook, 22 points, 5 assists, and I believe he hit a couple of threes. He was actually 2 of 2 from 3, so he actually hit 2 fantastic threes. Clean, perfect, perfect swish threes. None of that rattle in. No. It was great to see him, get some buckets, and I believe he actually kind of kick-started a little bit of that energy when he came in. Even though the bench wasn't scoring, it seemed like as soon as he came in, the energy was just so contagious. Like the Nuggets started kind of playing a little faster, and it was great to see. MPJ, 16 points, 4 of 7 from 3, so that was great to see from him. Julian Strawther, 7 points. Peyton Watson, 7 points. Peyton Watson had some great moments as well. He had a nice little spin move that it seems like he would kind of been working on because I've never seen that move before. He had like a nice power dribble, spin, and then layup. So that was a really cool move to see from him. So it seems like he's starting to get into his own as well. But no, it was great to see. Even though the Nuggets bench did get outscored by the Nets, didn't matter because you know what? You had Nikola Jokic and Jamal Murray running that 2-man game late. And it worked. Everybody contributed, and everybody had big moments to get this win. And that's what that's Nuggets basketball. Whenever you got multiple players doing multiple things that just affect the game one way or the other. And tonight it was all positive for the Nuggets, despite a really slow start by the Nuggets there in that first quarter, getting down big. But you know what? They rallied, and again another overtime win by the Nuggets. My goodness, what a win tonight. Now the Nuggets 2-2. My goodness, this is starting to trend a little bit better now. Now you have some offensive rhythm now to go into Minnesota here Friday night, I believe, November 1st. That's going to be a huge matchup. And now you have something going, right? Now you have players with some confidence, particularly Russell Westbrook, who kind of did struggle early in those first 2 games, but now seems to kind of found his mojo, and now the team has also been responding to him, which is great, right? We've been talking about even before the season started, Russell Westbrook, energy this, energy that, and tonight it showed. It showed the type of infectious energy that he can bring, and that was great to see from him. But again, Nikola Jokic, my goodness, just what a monster game from him. But only 29 points. Wow, only 29. My goodness, he was so effective everywhere. He just controlled the game. And tonight was the differential of when he went out and when he came back in. It wasn't huge, right? It wasn't as bad as like the first two games where Jokic goes out and he comes back in and it's like a huge deficit. It wasn't that case tonight, so that was great to see. But a little bit better lineups by Malone tonight, so you got to give Malone a little bit of credit tonight. And wow, love tonight's performance. Gritty performance, and like I said before, it's great to see the Nuggets kind of get their mojo going a little bit, and they're going to need it because Friday they take on the Timberwolves, and that's going to be a huge matchup. And hope they get a win. But no, tonight is all about another overtime win. 144-139 is your final. The Nuggets get a huge win behind Nikola Jokic's triple-double. Gotta love to see it. And I can't wait for Friday. Because that's going to be is it Friday? Let me double check because my time perception is a little bit off. It is Friday. Yes, I was on vacation for the past couple days, so sorry if I'm a little off tonight. But you know what? We'll take tonight's win. Great gritty win by the Nuggets, and it was awesome. Really iffy, like I said before, really iffy there in that first, but you know what? This is the Nuggets we've come accustomed to seeing. The grittiness, the ability to just, if you just keep it close, the Nuggets are going to find a way, and tonight they found a way, and like they did last night. It wasn't over until it was over, and the Nuggets get a solid overtime win, a much-needed win as well. So there you go. Nuggets get a win, 144-139. This has been your off-court post-game report. Hopefully you enjoyed my rambling tonight. I know I'm not as cool as Liv, but you know what? I love watching basketball, and this team in particular is very unique, and the Denver Nuggets, they just have like this very unique style of play that a lot of people enjoy watching, and not a lot of people know about the Nuggets, so hopefully tonight you enjoyed my strange recap. This is the first time I've done a post-game recap that tends to be a little bit quick, but you know what? I really enjoyed it tonight, and hopefully you enjoyed it as well. Thank you so much for watching, everybody. My name is Ruben with Gorilla Sports. Make sure to follow us on our Instagram, TikTok, Twitter. Make sure to hit that subscribe button on our YouTube, and hit the like if you're watching this on YouTube. Hit that like button, and also make sure to follow us on Twitter, like I said, on Instagram and TikTok. So anyways, my name is Misa. Thanks so much for watching Off Court. See you, everybody.